What if I told you that the one thing you've been doing to get closer to your dreams is actually pushing them further away? You don't need more motivation. You don't need a better planner. You don't even need more talent. You just need to stop talking. Seriously. Shut up. That idea you've been repeating to your friends, that goal you've been tweeting about, that resolution you've been posting on your Instagram story every new year, it's not helping you. It's hurting you. And here's the crazy part. The moment you told someone about your dream, your brain already started to believe you'd achieved it. Let me take you back to a quiet psychology lab in 2009. No flashing lights, no social media, just paper, pens, and a room full of strangers with goals. Researchers brought in 163 people, each with a private dream: lose weight, start a business, write a novel, quit their job, run a marathon. They split them into two groups. Group A had to say their goal out loud. Group B had to keep it silent. Then they gave both groups 45 minutes to get to work. Not to talk, not to daydream. Just do the damn thing. The result? Group B, the silent ones, stayed locked in, focused, almost the full 45 minutes. They said they still had a long way to go. Group A, the ones who shared their goals, they barely lasted 30 minutes. And here's the kicker. They felt like they'd already made serious progress. They hadn't, but their brain thought they had. Let that sink in. Just by saying the goal out loud, they triggered a dangerous illusion, the illusion of achievement, a false finish line, a fake dopamine hit. Talking about your dream feels good, but it kills the hunger. That's the trap. It's not laziness. It's not fear. It's not procrastination. It's the lie you didn't even know you were telling yourself. The hidden cost of talking. You might think telling people your goals keeps you accountable. You might believe it makes you more serious. But in truth, you're just handing your fire to someone else. The praise you get, the "wow, that's amazing," or the "you're so ambitious," that becomes your reward. And once your brain gets that reward, guess what? It stops chasing the real thing. You traded the satisfaction of the destination for the applause of the announcement. It's like lighting a match and calling it a bonfire. This is deeper than motivation. This is identity. When you say, "I'm going to be a writer," you feel like you already are one. When you say, "I'm going to lose 20 pounds," your brain checks a box. But none of that is real until you sweat, until you bleed, until you do. Why the world rewards the quiet ones. Think about the legends you admire. Michael Jordan didn't tell the world he was going to dominate. He just did. Cristiano Ronaldo didn't post a plan. He posted results. Even in war, the most dangerous soldier isn't the one shouting threats. It's the one moving in silence. The real killers move quietly. The talkers die early. That's why the silent achievers win. They don't need validation. They don't need applause. They don't need to perform progress. They know the world doesn't care what you plan to do. It only remembers what you did. The 4 types of dreamers, and only one wins. Let's be honest, there are only 4 kinds of people when it comes to goals. 1. The loud liars. They scream their dreams from the rooftops but never move an inch. They love the spotlight but hate the grind. Deep down, they crave praise, not progress. 2. The quiet quitters. They have dreams, big ones, but fear, doubt, and delay slowly kill those dreams in silence. No one ever hears them fail because they never even started. 3. The noisy winners. They actually do the work, but they want the world to notice every step. Every achievement comes with a post, a speech, a brand. They win, but they exhaust themselves trying to maintain an image. 4. the silent weapons. You don't hear them coming. You don't see them talking. But suddenly, one day, they arrive. They don't announce. They don't explain. They don't ask permission. They just show up on top. The silent weapon wins because they keep the most powerful fuel in the world, hunger. If you're serious about winning, start by silencing yourself. Don't announce it. Don't tweet it. Don't whisper it. Just do it. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is not fear. Silence is power. It's the discipline to work when no one's watching. It's the patience to wait until the results speak louder than your mouth ever could. Your goals don't need a megaphone. They need muscle. Chapter 2. The Dopamine Trap. Why your brain is working against you. Let me ask you a dangerous question. What if your brain, your own mind, is the biggest enemy of your success? You think your thoughts are helping you. You think the motivation you feel when talking about your goals is real. But neuroscience says otherwise. In fact, the same brain that gave you your biggest dream might be quietly killing it. Let me explain. The illusion of progress. Imagine you're hungry, starving, you haven't eaten all day. You walk into a restaurant. You see food. You talk about food. You even tell the waiter what you want. And before the meal even touches your mouth, your hunger disappears. Sounds impossible, right? Except that's exactly what happens when you talk about your goals. Your brain gets a dopamine hit, a shot of feel-good chemicals, just from saying what you're going to do. I'm starting a business. I'm losing 10 kilograms. I'm writing a book. I'm going to make history. It feels productive. It feels like momentum. But it's a lie. It's a fake high. A chemical illusion. The science of why talking feels like doing. Psychologists call it social reality substitution. Here's what that means. When you publicly commit to a goal, your brain confuses intention with action. It thinks you've already achieved something, even though you've done nothing. And the more emotional the reaction you get, applause, praise, validation, the stronger that illusion becomes. You're being rewarded for declaring a goal you haven't earned. Your subconscious says, we're already halfway there. But your life says, we haven't even started. And that's why most dreams die in plain sight, smiling, confident, delusional. Why social media is your worst enemy. Now let's take it up a notch. Think about how we live today. Every time you set a goal, you don't just tell one person, you tell hundreds, maybe thousands. I'm launching my brand this year. I'm quitting my job to chase my passion. This is the year I level up. You post it, you get likes, you get comments, you get DMS. And each one is another dopamine hit, another illusion, another reason not to actually do it. You haven't even taken the first step, but your brain's already celebrating at the finish line. By the time the real work starts, you're already emotionally exhausted. The motivation's gone, the hunger's gone, the fire's gone. Why? Because social media tricked you into thinking you'd already made it. Why pressure doesn't always help. Now, some people might argue, but if I tell people my goals, won't that keep me accountable? It's a nice theory. But here's the truth. Pressure only helps the prepared. If you announce your goal before you're ready, the pressure crushes you. You're not running toward a dream. You're running from embarrassment. You're not inspired. You're afraid to look like a failure. And fear is a terrible fuel. It doesn't last. It burns you out. It makes you fragile. Real accountability doesn't come from telling people. It comes from proving something to yourself. The people who never made it. Let's get real for a moment. You know someone right now, maybe a friend, maybe even yourself, who had a dream. They told everyone about it. They made vision boards. They bought all the gear. They posted it on socials. And today? Nothing. No results. No progress. Just a dusty goal that faded into embarrassment. What happened? They talked themselves out of hunger. They celebrated before earning anything. They performed success and then wondered why it never showed up. This is the silent killer of ambition, the dopamine trap. The power of starving in silence. Now flip the script. Think about the people who actually made it. The ones who came out of nowhere. No hype, no announcement, just silence, followed by dominance. They weren't busy telling the world. They were busy preparing for war. They stayed starving. They stayed underrated. They stayed dangerous. And when they finally showed up, when the world finally saw them, it wasn't talk. It was fire. That's what hunger does. Silence feeds your discipline. Talking feeds your ego. You don't need more motivation. You need more quiet. How to kill the illusion and win for real. So, how do you break the pattern? 1. Make your goals sacred. Don't throw them around like cheap conversation. Guard them like treasure. 2. Write it down, but keep it hidden. Make your notebook your accountability partner, not the internet. 3. Don't seek praise, seek pressure. If you need applause to stay motivated, you're not ready. Real killers stay in the gym long after the crowd is gone. 4. Fall in love with doing, not declaring. The grind should excite you more than the reaction. 5. Let your success be your announcement. When you finally show the world, let it be undeniable. Closing. Starve the ego. Feed the fire. There are two types of people in this world, those who get high off dreams and those who get high off results. Which one are you? Because you can't serve both. You can't chase praise and chase greatness at the same time. Every time you open your mouth, you lose power. Every time you stay silent, you gain it. Stop leaking energy into conversations. Stop rewarding yourself for unfinished work. Stop celebrating the trailer before you film the movie. Silence isn't empty. It's full of strategy. So next time you feel the urge to tell someone what you're about to do, don't. Just remember this. The hungriest wolves don't bark. They bite. Chapter 3. The 4 types of people who never win, and one that always does. Let's break the myth once and for all. Success is not just about talent. It's not about who's the smartest or even who wants it the most. It's about behavior, patterns, identity. Because no matter your background, dreams, or potential, there are only 4 kinds of people in the world when it comes to goals. And only one of them wins. Let's meet them, one by one. 1. The talkers who do nothing. You know them. Maybe you've been one. They talk the biggest game. They say they're going to change the world. They claim they're launching 6 projects, starting a brand, flipping their life upside down. Every conversation is a motivational speech. Every status is a declaration of destiny. I'm gonna do this. Watch what I'm about to do. This year is mine. But behind the scenes, nothing. No movement, no action, no consistency. They treat talking like doing, and they mistake applause for progress. They live for attention, not results. And worst of all, they become addicted to sounding successful more than becoming successful. These are the people who flame out, loud in the beginning, forgotten in the end. 2. The silent dreamers who do nothing. They're quieter, but not better. They keep their dreams to themselves, sure. They don't post about it. They don't tell the world. But they still don't move. They procrastinate quietly. They binge videos on how to start. They fantasize about success, but never break a sweat. They confuse knowing with doing. They hoard inspiration like treasure, but leave their gifts buried forever. And slowly, without even noticing, they build a life out of almost. Almost started, almost tried, almost made it. They think being private makes them different, but silence without execution is just a quiet failure. 3. The loud achievers. Now, this group actually gets things done. They hit goals, they work hard, they see results, but they need everyone to know. They document everything. They humble brag constantly. They turn progress into performance. They may be winners, but they're fragile winners. Because the moment the applause stops, so does their momentum. Their fuel is validation, not vision. And that's a dangerous game. Because when life gets quiet, and it always does, they crash. They don't know how to move without an audience, and success built on attention won't survive in silence. 4. The silent achievers. Now we get to the real ones, the killers, the doers, the legends in the making. They don't announce, they don't tease, they don't ask for permission, they just build. You don't hear about them until you can't ignore them anymore. They aren't motivated by likes, they aren't chasing viral moments. They're fueled by war, by hunger, by the deep inner obsession to finish what they started, with or without applause. When you ask them how they made it, they don't talk about hype. They talk about hours, pain, sacrifice. They're not flashy, but they're inevitable. And they never waste energy proving anything, because their work proves everything. They're not building for attention. They're building for legacy. Why the silent ones win? Let's be brutally honest. The silent achievers are dangerous because they're not distracted. They don't care about appearing successful. They care about becoming it. They don't seek credit. They seek mastery. They don't broadcast ambition. They weaponize it. When they win, it's not a fluke. It's earned. Because they had every excuse to quit, every reason to show off, every moment where they could have talked, but they chose silence. They chose to keep building. And that's why when they strike, the world feels it. The real test. Who are you becoming? Here's the truth. Everyone thinks they're a silent achiever, until it's time to actually disappear and grind. Most people break. Most people crave feedback, reassurance, attention. Most people want to be seen before they're ready. But those who can disappear, those who can stay focused when no one's clapping, they always come back stronger. So ask yourself, do I need applause to keep going? Am I building for the spotlight or for the results? Can I disappear for 6 months and come back unrecognizable? Because if the answer is no, then maybe, just maybe, you're not building success, you're performing it. A warning for the talkers. Here's a gut check. If you always feel the urge to post about your goals, if you can't help but tell people what's coming soon, if you keep sharing your vision but have no receipts, that's a red flag, because every time you talk, you leak power. Every time you post, you delay results. Every time you perform, you feed the illusion. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is strategy. The lion doesn't need to tell the jungle he's a killer. He just eats. So stop barking, start biting. Closing, choose your type, or stay broke. Let's bring it home. You only have 4 options. Be the talker, loved by many, respected by none. Be the silent dreamer, full of potential, empty on execution. Be the loud achiever, successful, but always on edge. Be the silent achiever, quiet, focused, inevitable. Choose wisely, because one of them builds wealth, one builds legacy, one walks into rooms and doesn't have to say a word, and still owns the room. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need to prove it to yourself. In silence. Chapter 4. The 3 reasons why most people will never get what they want. Let's face it, life isn't as complicated as we like to make it. We love to throw around excuses, to blame timing, bad luck, or the system. But the truth? There are only 3 reasons most people never get what they want. And once you understand these, you'll see how simple the path to success really is. Let's break it down, and let's do it honestly. 1. They're waiting for permission. Here's the first trap. People spend their lives waiting for someone to tell them it's okay to go after their dreams. They wait for the right time, the right mentor, the right sign from the universe. They need someone to give them the green light before they start moving. Sound familiar? It's easy to convince yourself that you're not ready. It's easy to tell yourself that you're not qualified, that someone else is in control, that you don't have the right connections. But here's the cold truth. The world doesn't owe you an invitation. The ones who win, they start before they're ready, before they have the perfect plan, before they have permission. They don't wait for approval. They go out and get results, regardless of who's watching. The only permission you need? From yourself. 2. They're stuck in their comfort zone. If you want to win, you need to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The comfort zone is the killer of dreams. It's the place where you stay safe, where everything feels good, where you don't have to take risks. But success doesn't live there. It lives in the discomfort, in the sleepless nights, in the sacrifices, in the moments where you question yourself but keep pushing anyway. Most people talk about wanting success, but they're unwilling to break free from what feels safe. They stay in jobs they hate. They stick to the same routines. They ignore the discomfort of growth. And when they look back at their lives, they see a whole lot of almosts. Almost took the leap, almost started that business, almost asked for that raise, almost wrote that book. But here's the thing, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing. The people who succeed, they choose discomfort over the safety of the familiar. 3. They believe in magic over work. Here's the hardest pill to swallow. Success doesn't just happen because you believe. The world isn't waiting to hand you what you want because you manifested it in your mind. That's a fantasy. The winners know this. Magic isn't the answer. Work is. They grind when no one's watching. They put in the hours when the world is asleep. They learn, fail, and learn again. But here's the difference. They don't just work for the paycheck or the applause. They work for the mastery. They work for the result, not the recognition. And most importantly, they don't expect shortcuts. People who believe in magic think that success will just appear out of nowhere. But the truth? It's earned. It's built, piece by piece, hour by hour, with grit and relentless action. The real test. Are you willing to do the work? Here's a simple question for you. Do you believe in shortcuts? Are you waiting for someone to hand you success? Are you too comfortable to take that first step? Or are you ready to get to work, without excuses, without waiting for permission, and without believing in magic? Because if you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not ready to get uncomfortable and take action today, then you're setting yourself up to be stuck in the same place 5 years from now. The truth. No one's coming to save you. Nobody's going to come and make it easy for you. Nobody's going to tell you when it's time. Nobody's going to hand you a magical shortcut. The only person who can change your life is you. And if you're waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or the perfect permission, you're going to be waiting forever. So here's the call to action. Stop waiting. Stop dreaming. Start doing. Get uncomfortable. Put in the work and watch your life transform. The question is, will you start today or will you stay stuck in the same place? Choose wisely. The clock is ticking.